What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, I'm going to be reacting to Ozzy Osbourne's second solo album, Diary of a Madman. I want to shout out our long time friend and patron of the channel, Trucker Kev, for requesting this one for me to react to today. Another one of our patrons, Carl, just had me last month react to Ozzy's debut, Blizzard of Oz, which I really enjoyed, and I know this one has a lot of acclaim as well. I also went through all the Sabbath albums, reacted to those that Ozzy was a part of, as well as the first couple with Ronnie James Dio as well. So we'll have all of that in a playlist at the end if you want to go and check those out. But today, man, we are going to be honing in on Diary of a Madman. So with that said, let's just get into this record, y'all. Get into this reaction. I'm excited for it. Trucker Kev notes it is his favorite Ozzy Osbourne solo album after having been absent from Black Sabbath for a few years, replaced by Ronnie James Dio. The Prince of Darkness would go on to begin a solo career, bringing a really cracked band and an amazing young gunslinger by the name of Randy Rhoads, who basically lit up the guitar scene. With his flying V guitar and amazing skills, he was just like a young Edward Van Halen a few years prior. While his hard rock grabbed rock radio very quickly with awesome songs, even with the cover songs like Over the Mountain and, of course, the now legendary Crazy Train, here's a little bit of irony. While this is my favorite album, my favorite solo Ozzy song still is Mr. Crowley. But that's for another place and another time. He brought back the same people on this one. The great Bob Daisley on bass, Lee Kerslake on drums, put together an even stronger album with a lot of songs written by Lee and Bob. And this is one of the fan favorites when they vote their favorite Ozzy album. Some leans towards Blizzard, some leans towards Diary for the most part. And as I mentioned on the Blizzard of Oz reaction, Kev notes as well here that there were reissues of this album in Blizzard where, because of the songwriting conflict amongst Lee and Bob, who wrote a lot of the songs, along with Sharon and Ozzy, and them early 2000 remasters of these, you have to be very careful of because they re-recorded them with other musicians inserted. Pissed off a lot of fans, myself included, Kev notes, back in the day. However, in 2011, both of them were released again in the deluxe anniversary editions with the proper placement, again, of Bob and Lee's instruments like it should be. If you happen to be listening, be careful of the 2002 remaster, and if you don't get a hold of, just go for the original or the 30th anniversary edition if it's available, like on Spotify. And that's what we'll be listening to today, is the anniversary edition, where everything is back as it should be with all the original instrumentation in there. This is for everybody to know. If you're hunting down Ozzy solo stuff for become a fan, be very wary of the O2 versions, because a lot of people don't like the fact that it was altered that dramatically. I wouldn't either, man. It messes with the integrity of the record, in my opinion. All in all, this is an excellent hard rock, heavy metal album. I do hold it in high regard in the Ozzy discography in general. Coming out of the starting gate with the fan favorite Over the Mountain, into the awesome Flying High again, the ever so awesome heart epic ballad You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, and the fantastic Believer. Basically, side one is almost just so awesome. It's a greatest hits into itself for many people. Side two, though, continues rocking good and hard. Little Dolls and Tonight, super songs. The little mystique behind the true meaning of Sato. A lot of people have assumed different things, but leave it up to your imagination for the most part. There's many different sides that have been said it's one thing or another, and then it finishes off with a great title track, Diary of a Madman. So that is Kev's kind of overview of this record here, and we got just some more little quick facts here before we jump into this album, y'all. This was released October of '81, sold over 3 million copies worldwide. Final album recorded with the late great Randy Rhoads, although bassist Rudy Sarzo and drummer Tommy Aldridge are credited in the liner notes and pictured on the inner sleeve for the American vinyl and cassette release. It was bassist Bob Daisley and, of course, drummer Lee Kerslake, who performed all bass and drum parts on the original release. Aldridge has stated of the album, quote, "I think it's pretty obvious that it's not my drumming on the album. I have never taken credit for that recording and always given it to Lee Kerslake whenever asked or interviewed, the credit he rightly deserves." Daisley provided significant contributions to the album songwriting, having written some of the music and most of the lyrics. Kerslake claims to have also had a hand in the writing of the album, even performing lead vocals on some of the original demo recordings. Daisley and Kerslake were not given credit for their performance or songwriting contributions, a situation, of course, which later resulted in that that lawsuit. During the album's recording, Kerslake said the band members were given no money to live on, promoting them to approach management. Shortly after, both Kerslake and Daisley were fired. Everything was working fine, said Kerslake. It was only when Shannon Osbourne came in that we had a problem. When she started managing, taking over, she wasn't the manager until Diary of a Madman. So she came in and it started to get edgy, but we never suspected a thing until we went away on holiday. Next minute, they're rehearsing with Tommy Aldridge and Rudy Sarzo and going to America. Although Dan Airy is credited as a keyboardist on the record, it was in fact a musician named Johnny Cook who actually recorded the keyboard parts. He had actually worked with Daisley and Mungo Jerry in the 70s. Airy was on tour as a member of Rainbow at the time recording and was not available. Reception of the album has been generally positive. In particular, the neo-classical guitar work of Randy Rhoads has received a lot of praise. Rolling Stone put it at 15th on its list of 100 greatest metal albums of all time. And again, going over that reissue controversy real quick here, the O2 Diary of a Madman reissue was derided by fans due to the removal of Daisley and Kerslake's original bass and drum. The reissue featured re-recorded bass and drum tracks contributed by Osbourne's then bassist and drummer Robert Trujillo and Mike Borden, respectively. The move was suspected of being retaliatory in nature, as Daisley and Kerslake had successfully sued Osbourne and Sharon in court, winning songwriting credits. Sharon later stated that Ozzy and not herself was responsible for the decision to re-record the parts, stating, quote, "Because of Daisley and Kerslake's abusive and unjust behavior, Ozzy wanted to remove them from these recordings. We turned a negative into a positive by adding a fresh sound to the original albums." However, Ozzy himself stated in his 2009 autobiography that the decision to re-record the parts was strictly Sharon's. He said that she, quote, "just snapped and had it done without his knowledge." So with that said, y'all, it's time to get into this album. We're going to start with Over the Mountain here, which was released as a single at the time. I will try to get this through on YouTube. I know Sabbath stuff usually is able to go through on YouTube, but Ozzy stuff is much more stricter. We've noticed that on our live streams as well. So there probably won't be any music in this vid on YouTube here, but of course, shout out to all the patrons like Kev who help us have the server space over on Vimeo to get that link for free, full album reaction in the comments there for everybody if you want to click that right now, and so you can hear the music in full, the album in full, and follow along. But with that said, man, I'm going to have the lyrics pulled up, enjoy this record, and enjoy the songs, give my thoughts after, and then at the end I'll go over my overall score, favorite tracks, let y'all know what Kev thinks of this record as well. So thanks again to Kev. Shout out to Ozzy. I'm excited for this one. Let's get into Diary of a Madman and Over the Mountain. Over the Mountain, what a banger, as I like to say, to start this record off right here. Can definitely see why this was a single too. And I've noticed with the Sabbath Ozzy years, and even on the last record, how good most of the starting songs on both sides are, and you can tell a lot of care was put into that right here on this track as well. As I said on the Blizzard of Oz review, man, Randy Rhoads just is so impressive. I know that's not a hot take by any means, but that's another one, man. Passed away, I believe, at the age of 25. It's all like, well, obviously way too soon, and who knows how many great riffs and songs that we didn't get to hear from him. But man, I'm glad we got to hear him for at least 2 albums right here with Ozzy, because he absolutely crushes the guitar solo on this. Again, that infectious riff. I thought Ozzy's vocals were really strong here as well, and just a hard rocking, get your blood pumping type of song to kick this record off right here, man. So Over the Mountain, easy heart treatment for me here. Probably going to be amongst my favorites as we continue through this album. Loving the start here, and we're going to go now to Flying High Again. This was also released as a single, went to number 2 on the Billboard Top Tracks chart. Although the song has been assumed to be about marijuana or LSD use, Osbourne has stated that the song was inspired by his successful re-emergence as a solo artist after being fired from Sabbath and subsequently believing his career was over. Right. Flying High Again. I don't think I sung that as well as Ozzy did, but man, another really great song right here. 2 for 2 on this record so far, man. I see what Kev was alluding to, being how good this first side is, and again, that chorus really was the highlight for me, again, with Rhodes's riff right here. He had another fantastic solo that just showed his great technical ability, of course. And I really thought the production on this song was a strong point as well, especially the panning effects of Ozzy whenever we got to that chorus, the flying high again. And I always appreciate a good panning effect. And this is one, as I was saying in the reaction, man, you got to turn this thing up to 11. Just a great hard rocking metal song right here. And I see where some people maybe get the drug illusion. Of course, flying high again. I can see through mountains, watch me disappear. I can even touch the sky, swallowing colors of the sound I hear. Those LSD-like imagery that some people allude to. I can see that there, but I think it also, has that universal message that Ozzy alluded to, that, hey, maybe I was knocked down, but hey, I'm flying high again. I have that success now as a solo artist. I maybe don't need Sabbath, to still have a successful career right here, especially when I'm teaming up with Randy Rhoads. So another great song right here. And we're going to go now to the longest song on the album. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. Ain't that the truth? Though many have tried. So let's get after this one. All right, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, an epic track. Just to state the obvious right here. 7 minutes, chock full of amazing musicianship all the way around, and some really open and honest, self-reflective lyrics by Ozzy right here as well. I enjoyed his vocal, but the lyrics in particular, even the opening line, how many times can they fill me with lies and I listen again, twisting the truth and they're playing around with my head, the things they will do and the things they will say, but they don't really understand. Tears fill my eyes when I hear all the cries for the reason today. I would say Ozzy, one of the more maybe misunderstood people in rock and roll history, right? Even from the early, days of Sabbath, from their debut record, right? Pegged as an occultist, Satanist type of band, even though as you dive into a lot of their work, right? They even have some Christian themes on the Masters of Reality record, and really the pitfalls of, the darkness, even on Mr. Crowley from the last record, right? He was more puzzled by Aleister Crowley than, backing him up and his ideas. So, it is interesting to, following his career like that and always being pegged as something that he wasn't particularly, and so that really is coming forth through his lyricism right here. And you could sense some of that pain in his voice, I think, even in that chorus, leave me alone, don't want your promises no more, because rock and roll is my religion and my law, won't ever change, may think it's strange, you can't kill rock and roll, it's here to stay. And I think that idea is so great as a true rock star phenomenon that Ozzy is, that you may, spread lies about me, try to take this away, that away, but at the end of the day, I'll always have my music. I'll always be able to express myself creatively and have rock and roll there. And man, that's still true to this day, as Ozzy is even came out with an album last year, I believe it was. And so, what an epic career, and what an epic song, Randy Rhoads delivering maybe my favorite solo up to this point in the record so far. And we had the awesome little a fade out, the final 30 seconds where he was still letting her rip and shred on the guitar, man. So great track. Another one I'm going to have to give the heart treatment to as we go to finish off this first side here with the song Believer. So let's check it out. All right, Believer coming in, man, and we're 4 for 4 on this A side for heart treatments right here, dude. Man, Kev, you were not lying on it being a greatest hits of sorts. And this song, dude, kind of reminded me a little just in theme of Flying High again, right? That idea that even if no one else believes in you, right, or even if you're down, like you gotta believe in yourself and just go out there and give it your all, right? Because if you don't, I mean, it is a cliche. I'll put my counselor hat on here as that's my day job when I'm not recording metal reactions. But if you don't believe in yourself, right, it's gonna be tough for others to believe in you, right? Or if no one else is believing in you, I know it can be tough to strike up that motivation within yourself and keep pushing forward, but that's what really I think shows what you were made of, right? Even when those dreams have shattered, Ozzy notes, take another point of view. Doubts will arise though, like chasing a rainbow. I can tell a thing or two. You've got to believe in yourself, or no one will believe in you. And I think it's pretty straightforward, cut and dry right there, man. And so I enjoyed this one, and probably the just kind of most metal sounding track on this record so far. So we're going to take it now to Little Dolls, which is going to kick off the second side right here. So let's get it. All right, Little Dolls, again, a nice hard rocker right here, man. Strong work from Randy Rhoads, and again, another strong way to kick off a side of a record right here. And even though I wouldn't put it up to any of the first four tracks on the A side, it's still a really good track, and that is a high bar, of course, to live up to. I think here, I haven't mentioned his name much, but Lee Kerslake was crushing it behind the kit, putting on a clinic. The rhythm section between him and Daisley has been really impressive throughout this whole record, and on this track in particular. So enjoyed that one right there. And now we're gonna kick it to Tonight, another 6 minute long epic jam, I am sure. So let's get to it. All right, y'all. Tonight, bringing it in, another absolute banger right here, leaning into some of the hard rock balladry that we had almost on "You Can't Kill Rock and Roll." Randy Rhoads again, especially at the end, just letting it all loose, and just absolutely shredding music to my ears right here, people. And I thought Ozzy again delivered a very strong vocal performance, and I like too. Yeah, we not only had one but two different solos by Randy right here. He notes, don't want your pity or your sympathy. It isn't going to prove a thing to me. Good intentions pave the way to hell. Don't you worry when you hear me sing. And so, man, I thought this was again, just an epic ballad right here. And all the musicians were just on point. And I again love the emotion that Ozzy can convey, even if he doesn't have the biggest vocal range. He's able to get the most out of his range here, and still make you feel what he wants to along with that music behind it, of course. All right, we're going to the next track. I'm going to say Sato, Sato. Let's see what that stands for right here. I know Kev said there was some ambiguity in the interpretation, so let's see what I think after I hear it. Sato coming in right here, man. A hard rocking, fast and furious type of track. That Daisley bass work. Maybe a highlight of the musicianship on the song right here. And man, I again enjoyed Rose's crunchy riff right here. What a great riff maker Rhodes is. As far as the song itself, man, I can see a couple different interpretations here, man. On this one, you have somebody that's again a bit uneasy. We have the ship, the sailing metaphor that's coming through here. On first listen, I might be leaning towards the drugs, the high that maybe this ship is representing. He knows I can't conceal it like I knew I did before. I got to tell you now, the ship is ready, waiting on the shore. He notes that the ship of joy will stop you failing. Okay, so maybe in that state where my mind is a bit uneasy, I'm in the trenches, so to speak, in that darkness. Oh, this ship of joy, this possible drug or substance, whatever it is, will be what it is. He notes in the third verse, wind is high, so am I. As the shore sinks in the distant, dreams unfold. Seek the gold that's brighter in the sunlight. Again, maybe chasing that high, so to speak. But he ends the song saying, a raging sea below. Is this voyage coming to an end? Maybe that come down's happening. Again, that's only my first listen and interpretation. I'd love to know what you think it is in the comments below, man. So great track right there. And we're going to finish it with the title track, Diary of a Madman. And then after that, I'll let you know what Kev thought of the overall album and his favorite tracks, and give mine as well. All right, Diary of a Madman. What a great track to end on. One of my favorites of the record, actually. Again, had that epic nature that really almost like classical sounding guitar at the first 30 seconds before we go into the really loud, hard-hitting electrical guitar from Randy Rhoads right here, man, and he crushed it as always on his solo and just his riff on this on this song. And man, lyrics again very hard hitting here from Ozzy. I love the openness of this person, this diary from a Madman right here, where we didn't end the record on a chip or no by any means, as we have this image of this man who is screaming at the window, hopeless situation. The chorus, sanity, now it's beyond me, there's no choice. We get the idea that this dude is that he just is what he is. He's tormented. He even notes at the end, Monday till Sunday, it comes in stages. A manic depression befriends me. Hear his voice. Sanity, now it's beyond me. There's no choice. A sickened mind and spirit. The mirror tells me lies. I just thought that it was just a really epic way to paint this mental illness of this person. And towards the end, the chorus is going in, just gave it that epic feel. A great song to end us right here. And going now to my favorite tracks as well as Kev notes, honorable mentions. First, the title track, which we just heard, along with Little Dolls, and favorite tracks, all of side 1, no doubt about that. And Tonight from side 2. For me, man, I got to say my favorite tracks were Diary of a Madman, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, and man, I also have to go with Flying High. Again, those 3 would probably be at the top, though. As Kev said, that whole first side was epic. Overall thoughts on the record and score. Kev here is saying that his final rating very high. He's going to be at a 9.0 on this. Still a great album from start to finish for him. And for me, man, as good as Blizzard of Oz was, I think this even stepped up from that. And I'm going to be right in the range of Kev, going strong, like 8.75 to a 9 for me on this album as well, man. I liked every single song on here. I do like with the Sabbath and Ozzy records how concise they are. You're looking at 8-9 tracks for most of them. And man, Randy Rhoads, it's tough to compete with Tony Iommi, but Randy is definitely up there for sure. Crushing it with the solos. I thought the rhythm section was on point, and real strong vocals, and some of the probably overall best lyricism for when you're looking at a whole album from Ozzy up to this point in his career, just in general, his whole career. So I like the variety of sound and topics that we had on this record as well, man. And I just I thought it was an epic, great hard rocking metal record right here. I loved it, man, and it would stand up with the best of what Sabbath, I think, had to offer as well. So man, great request here from Kev. Let me know what your favorite tracks are. What do you think of this album? Let me know down below. Do you like this or Blizzard of Oz more? I know that is a tough question, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And of course, check out our whole back catalog of the Sabbath reactions, as well as that Blizzard of Oz, if you didn't get to check that out as well. If you like to be like Kev and support the channel, maybe have one of us here at RTCC react to a song or an album for you, you can check out our Patreon page, which is linked below, as well as at the end screen, and you can check out all our socials down there as well. But that'll wrap it up for me today, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are. And until next time, thanks for watching, happy listening, and I will see you